I'm here today to unbox Soft Flex's Design Challenge Kit from April 2025 called Beltane Festival. So here is the kit itself, and then I also purchased the extra bead strand that is produced by Jesse James. So give me just a moment, I'll get this guy unboxed or unwrapped so that way we can see what the initial contents are, and then we'll go through each one of the little sections, and then we'll go through the bead strand at the end. After all of that, then we'll do a short, probably earring tutorial. So meet me back in a second and we'll start going through this guy. Alright, so like I always do at the very beginning of Soft Flex's Design Challenge Kits, I get everything out of that package and lay it out here so you can kind of see the gist of what we're going to end up looking at. So I'll go through each little section a little bit at a time, and that way we can go through everything so you can see it a little bit closer up. So meet me back in just a second and we'll do just that. Alright, so I always start off with the findings pack. So the first thing that we get is a full spool of the Soft Flex beading wire, the medium size. It's 49 strands and you get a total of 10 feet with it. To this month's color, we're going to get the bone color, which is that color there. So it's a very good neutral color to have. I like this color. I already have one of them sitting and I've used it quite a bit of it, so it's good to have another one coming in. Then we're going to get a 20 count of the 2x2 crimp tubes, and these are going to be in the gold. So they're gold filled crimp tubes. We also get a pair of ear wires, and these are gold plated ear wires, just like that. Then we get our little lobster clasp, so we have something that we can make as far as necklace or bracelet with. And then we also get Sweet and Petite bows, and these are in the gold color. So they're cute little bow charms, and they're the same on both sides. So you have a cute little bow charm in the gold color that we get this month. So that is the findings pack. So meet me back and I'll show you the next section. Alright, so these are most of the beads that came in the little bags. This one was in one bag, these three were in a second one, and then these are the two bead strands. So we'll go through each one of these. These are 12 by 11 simple cut check beads in olive green. So it's a good olive color, and they're just it kind of looks like a nugget. It reminds me of a nugget, but it's a check glass bead. So it's nice big bead. And then we have Robin's Egg crystal pillow beads, and these are pretty neat. These, when you look at it closely, it almost looks like it's got a kind of like a cat's eye look to it in a way, where it's got the chantoyant thing, I think is what it's called. But those are pretty neat. So they're little pillow beads, and each one of them is slightly different than the other. And it's called the Robin's Egg Blue. Then we've got 3mm check glass and fire polish beads. These are in yellow, bright, beautiful yellow color. So your typical fire polish. Then we have check glass. What are these? Siam transparent Siam 2-hole tile beads. So these are more along the lines of what I usually use. I'm looking for my needle. So the holes, you've got one hole that goes through right here where the strand is going through, and then you have a second hole that's up here. So it's a 2-hole tile bead. So I'll probably do something along the lines with this and bead weave something along with this. Because of the 2 holes, I like to do things bead weaving wise with that. And then these orange guys are check glass transparent orange squares. So they're just check glass squares, and then you can see where the hole's going through. You can see the line there. So you get several of those. Then you get 9mm transparent colors dot lampwork beads. Did I read that right? 9mm transparent colors dot lampwork bead. So you get 3 of them, and I've got different colors. I would imagine you're probably going to get different colors than what I got. but I got a clear one, more of a turquoise one, and then more of a green one there too. So these are pretty cute. They're different. Be neat to have those like maybe in a necklace or something, or maybe even a bracelet, a simple little bracelet. Those are cute. And then these are yellow ceramic flower beads. So you have the hole right there that goes through the center of the flower. And one side is just yellow on one side, and then you've got the center of the flower on the other side. So you get two of those. So that is the majority of the beads. We've got one more thing to go through, which is the Jesse James Custom Bead Mix, and then we'll go through the Jesse James Bead Strand, which is the extra purchase. So give me a moment, I'll be right back. Alright, so I'm back with the contents of the Beltane Festival Bead Mix by Jesse James. And all of these beads and findings were jam-packed in this one little itty-bitty small container. So you get a whole lot of beads in this one little container. So we'll go through each one of them. You get these two beads that are, kind of looks almost like they're veins inside the glass. Like they're a turquoise color, but they look like they have veins in it. It's kind of neat. It's different. Don't have very many beads that are like that, so it's neat. Then you get two of these, and they are just oval or round shapes, and it's just like a almost like a opaly color in with the glass that's on the inside of the glass. So it's really neat. You got the one hole that goes down the center just like that. So those are pretty. Then you have several little small rondelles, and these are just opaque colored turquoise. It's like a turquoise color, and it's got facets on the sides, so it helps to catch the light very easily. Then you have some cube beads, and these are like a matte transparent, or maybe they're a little bit opaly in a way, but it's like a light blue color. It's almost like that robin's egg blue color from the previous beads that we saw. And then you have some teardrops. You get 4 of these, so they're a little bit larger teardrops, where you've got the smaller side up here at the top and the larger dip down at the bottom. So something good to use as either drops or something in earrings. Those are always good to use with that. Then you get a couple different types of lucite beads. This is the first one. These are little yellow flower lucite beads. So you've got the the front side of the flower right there, and then these guys are, this one's turned upside down, so you just have the flat looking to the backing of it. So you get some of those. You get little table cut oval type beads, and it's a yellow that is the center color of the bead, and then it looks like it's table cut with a gold wash over the top of it. So these are really pretty, and they're kind of tiny. They're like around 6 millimeters by like maybe 4 millimeters, somewhere around in there. Then you get 2 of these guys, and these are more of a goldish yellow, and it does have an AB finish on it. You can see the different colors caught by the light. Kind of looks like it's an English cut or something similar to that. But you get 2 of those guys. You get, looks like 6 of these, and they're little squares that are more of an orange color. Kind of goes along with my nails, but it's more of an orange color, and it has a shiny finish. It's almost like a, I don't know, maybe a brown finish on the top of it. So sometimes you can see a little bit more of the orange, like on the sides of the beads, and then here you see more of a brown, but it's faceted, so it catches the light really, really well. And then here's the second lucite bead that you get, and you get more of a peachy orange color, and these are a little bit larger than the previous one, and they have a little bit more depth to them. They're a little bit bigger. There again, matches my nails. You get a couple of pearls. You get 4 little pearls, glass pearls, and these are just in a red color. And then you get 6 of these flowers. And they're like little bell flowers, I believe is what they're called. But they are a little bit thicker than some of the others. other beads. So there's the thickness of it, and then there's the front of the bead, and then there is the back of the bead. So this is something that's really good to use, like if you want to use, make a cha-cha bracelet or something like that, where you're doing bead weaving, and you can use these for tassels and things like that. Those are what these beads are really good for. Then you get a couple of roses. So these are really, really pretty. These feel like they're acrylic roses, and they have a hole somewhere that goes down the center, right there. So you can see, there we go. Now we see it. There's the hole. But you got two of those. Very pretty little roses. Then we get to the findings part. And this is one of the spacers that you get. And it is a spacer that has kind of like a bumpy edge to it. I don't know if you can see the bumps that well, because I can't get too close to the camera without it losing focus. So there's some bumps along the edge of it, and they're kind of small, little small spacers. Looks like you get 8 of those. You get quite a bit of these. These are kind of the daisy spacers. To me, they always remind me of a atom, when you're looking at how atoms will like the electrons and protons and neutrons and everything go move around the atom. I don't know, it just reminds me of that every time I see one of these type of things. But it's one of the little daisy type spacers. You get quite a bit of those in the little kit. Then you have a couple of bead caps. This is one of them. This one's a little bit larger. It's like a filigree bead cap. So it's kind of thin, but it'll fit around a larger bead. And then that's the inside of the bead cap. And then you flip it around, and then that's the outer side of the bead cap. And then the second type of bead cap is a little bit smaller. And these are more of like a 4-point leaf looking bead cap that's in a gold color. So that's the top side of the bead cap. And then there's the bottom side of it, of this one. And then the last thing that comes in here are 6 of little rhinestone, gold rhinestone beads. So they're little gold beads that have a bunch of rhinestones attached to them. So then that's everything in the little container. So that is the contents of the Design Challenge Kit. So now on the next clip we'll go through the extra purchase of the Jesse James beads, the Jesse James bead strand. Man, I couldn't think of what this thing was called. So we'll go through that the next clip, and then after that we'll start our little short tutorial. So this is the contents of the Jesse James bead strand for the Beltane Festival for April 2025. So we'll go through the contents. We get 2 of these cubes. So they look like they are slightly different in color, like they're a little bit lighter in color than the other cubes that came in the other part of the kit. But they still go along with the theme very well. You get 2 of these guys. These look like they're either acrylic or resin, and then they have flat back crystals that are in a AB color. So that's why you see all the different colors that it picks up as you move the beads around. So those are nice to have. They're very, very lightweight, so good for earrings. You get 4 of these larger rondelles. They're like a turquoise color, and then it has a little bit of a coating on the top of it. I'm not sure what to call the coating. It kind of looks like an army green color, almost. That's on the top of the top of the bead in some places. So those are pretty though. Then you get 2 of these crystals. They are a blue color, and they're transparent, so you can see where the holes go, where they go up and down on the bead. And they're faceted, so they pick up a lot of different sparkles, a lot of different lights. So those are pretty. You get 2 of the same color of large crystal beads. And these are probably about a 12 millimeter, somewhere around in there. But those are pretty too. We get some spacers. So these are your typical daisy spacers. And you get 6 of these. And they're the bright gold color. You've got 2 more crystals that are in a crystal AB. So you got a little bit of an AB finish on some part of the crystal, and then the rest of the crystal is just crystal color. But those are a little bit smaller. They're probably about an 8mm or so. You get this really beautiful bead that was sitting in the center. And it is very lightweight. So it would fit in a necklace very easily. And it's got flat back beads and crystals and everything that are attached to the front of it, that it looks like it was done in clay. So you've got a bead here in the center, and then you got 4 little heart beads here, and then you have flat back crystals also around the edge next to the hearts. And then to top it all off, you have some chain that they added to the side. And then that's where your hole is. Your hole's down the center. So it's a little bit larger of a hole, so you can always use either leather or silk or something like that if you want to. Then you get 2 of these rondelles, the crystal rondelles. They're both gold. This is the larger of the 2. And it looks like they're just crystal color. They may have an AB finish, but I'm not depicting any other color changes just yet. Yeah, I don't see anything else. I think they're just a crystal color. So that's the larger of the 2. And here's the smaller of the 2. And it's the same thing, just a smaller size. And then you have some bead caps, I'm guessing. These are a little bit different. I've not seen these type of bead caps before, but they're pretty, they're neat, they're different. So that's the back side of them, and then that's the front side of them. And then that's the bead strand. So, like I said, this is an extra purchase, so what I'll end up doing is I'll make a pair of earrings with the actual kit itself. Then I'll come back at a later date and I'll make either earrings or, or a bracelet or something out of the contents of the of this bead strand. So meet me back in a second, and then I will show you what you need to make the earrings, and we'll start the tutorial after that. Alright, so we're just going to make a simple little earring today. I had to get one of my head pins, one of my gold head pins, out of my stash, and that's the only other thing besides beads from the kit. All the beads are coming from the Jessie James bead mix that came in the kit itself. So you'll need 2 of the orange lucite flowers, 2 of the turquoise teardrops, 2 of the smaller of the opaque turquoise rondelles, 2 of the square orange beads, and then you'll need the daisy type spacer that came in the little tray, and then the other one, the other spacer that had the little bumps on the side, the smaller spacer, you'll need one of those, and then you'll need one of the bead caps. Only other things that you'll need is some wire cutters, because we're going to trim off the head pin some, and then we'll need a set of round nose pliers so we can make our loop. So all we do to start off with is we take our bead cap and put that on first. Then we're going to go to our lucite flower. We're going to put that on next. And then I was checking my bead cap and make sure that it wasn't, that my the head of the end of the head pin was not going to go through the bead cap. That's what I was doing off screen there for a second. And then we're going to pick up our teardrop. We're going to go through the bottom part of the teardrop, which is the bigger part, and come out to the top. Then we're going to pick up our daisy type spacer. I'm going to string that one on. Then we're going to pick up the orange square bead. That goes on next. So that's what we have so far. Then we're going to pick up the little bumpy spacer, and then we're going to end with the turquoise rondelle. So there's that. I'm going to get these guys out of the way, so hopefully my camera will focus only on my hands. So now we're going to cut off the excess. I'm just holding on to the beads in my hand and just cutting off a little excess somewhere around in there. It doesn't have to be exact, as long as it's somewhat close to what you cut off on the first one. And you can always do this, you can always measure. So one of mine was just slightly a little bit too smaller, because one of these I cut off the first time, the other one I cut off the second time. it really doesn't matter because these are going to be on your ears and you're not going to notice any difference. So I'm just going to start making a loop, and I'm just going to do a simple loop today. So I'm going to start in one spot, and then I'm probably going to have to make it a little bit larger. And if I have to, I'll twirl this one around like a little bit like I did right there. I'm okay with doing that. I know some people don't like that. They want to have their loops look just perfect. And if you don't like something like that, you can always make your loop, and then you can cut off the excess also. So then you can go in with your cutters right here and then cut off the excess and then finish your loop in that way. And in fact, I can try to do that just to try to demonstrate it. Because I always have another head pin that if this doesn't work out the way that I want it to, I can always get another head pin out and fix it again. So now you just take your round nose pliers and then you just finish out the loop to make it look the way you want it. And then what I'm going to do is go put my pliers back in there, and then I'm going to go backwards on it a little bit to help kind of make this loop sit more up and down. And then I'm going to take my ear wire and I'm just going to string it on. The ear wire is actually open on this one, so I'm just going to go straight through the top just like that because it happens to fit, and then use my pliers and then close up that gap. And then now you have your earring complete. So once you get the second one done, then you have a pair of earrings. Alrighty everyone, so here are the contents of the Beltane Festival Design Challenge Kit released by Softflex in April 2025. It is all of this right in here. And then this is the extra bead strand that you can purchase that is produced by Jesse James Beads. So thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope you hit that like button as well as the subscribe button, and then go ahead and hit the notification bell so that way you'll be notified when I come out with another unboxing and any other tutorials. Thanks again everyone. I really appreciate it. I will see y'all in the next video. Y'all have a good day. Bye.